Thank you, Jennifer. And next we have Patrick W. Marsh. Patrick is a published writer in Dagda Publishing, Under Construction, Parachutes, and Calliope. He writes about the union of fantasy with reality. Expectations for science fiction and fantasy and our modern reality are constantly changing, and Patrick is interested in writing about this potential paradox within society. Please welcome Patrick Marsh.
Adjust this. There we go. First off, I want to say thank you for Cracked Walnut for allowing me to read here. I really appreciate it. Really great reading series. I'm really proud to be a part of it. My name is Patrick Marsh, and I write fantasy and horror. I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota, and I've been reading my first book entitled Beware the Ills. And instead of trying to give you like a really quick synopsis, I'm going to read the back of the book really quick before I read from the guts of the book, to kind of give you an idea what it's about. So this is kind of the basic summary of it. For the last 30 years, he has been the sole protector of the legendary Diamond Town. Every hour it snows, howls, and storms. Every week, wave after wave of invaders crawl through the woods, scouring for a bit of fame and glory on this lost island. And he cuts them all down with indiscriminate slashes with his sword. No one has survived being a guardian as long as him, and the shadows are seething with vengeance in the forests and mountains. A vengeful cannibal from a lost invasion, ancient beasts stalking about the mountains waiting to attack, and a fresh new batch of invaders with a beautiful berserker and a motionless captain are just a few of the festering plagues on this cursed island. There will be no respite. There will be no end to the war and strife. The winters are growing longer, the cold harsher, and the enemies bolder. Take a walk in the footsteps of the Diamond Town's guardian in his world through his own blood-weary eyes. Count your footsteps and mind the silence. It's time to hunt and to fill the graveyard again. So, here I'm going to read from the very first chapter, from the very beginning. Chapter 1, The Hunt. I will never tell you my name. It's not important. It gives no specific view to my personality and character. Not that there is much to observe. The name is simply a title, a label, a strand of living data to give you immediate worth in the chaos. It's worthless. Worth can only be earned. There is no need for anyone's full realization about me. I'm not allowed to be close to anything or anyone. I prefer it. I need to always be clear, always lucid, no room for error. Perfection's attractive, and so can being perfect. I must be able to kill with consistency and certainty and ignore all distractions. Consistency always feels like perfection. Nothing's more important. It's snowing, like always. It snows every day in some random capacity on this island. I cannot consider it my island. I don't own the island. I don't have money. I've never owned money, but I know this island like something I own. I know almost every inch of it, from the dark of the Ills tunnels and the gray stone mountains to the cracks along the shingles. I know the forest from its needle edges surrounding the shore to the clearings near the river dividing this island. Almost every inch, every snow-ridden inch, I have witnessed and known. The island always stirs with a constant coldness. The wind blows in from the sea, the wind howls in from the mountains. The Ills control the mountains bordering the ocean. Only one beach froths on the whole island. It has sharp and unwholesome white sand from the dark waves. I have watched this one shore countless times. I try to forget it. I hate memorizing every little detail out of boredom. The ocean roars under the wind. I can picture it now. The white rushing back at the water, throwing up warped shapes in wet bursts. I can't see the beach now. It doesn't matter. I know they're landing. New encroachers, new invaders, new outlanders from some faraway country. I can faintly see their outlines through the trees. Blue and I have climbed high and deep into the velvet canopies. We are not in the highest of trees. That would be ridiculous and stupid. They would spot us, especially Blue, and we would lose nearly all our allure. Surprise and legend. Those are our most powerful attributes. Without those two arrogances, we'd be just another pair of natural disasters. I hear machines grinding. I hear men screaming over the west wind and flaking snow. The cold bites and I breathe it in. It stings wickedly today. It's so bitter. It draws my skin back in stiff lines along my white face. The cold started yesterday, and normally it breaks in the afternoon in some capacity or another. Mind you, it's always cold. This, however, this winter has been the coldest in some time. Blue growls at me. He's getting restless. It's time to move. Even he knows that maneuver. I breathe deeply and shake my face in the cold. There are more trespassers to kill, more to add to the graveyard, a timeless routine. I replay the image in my mind a few times to savor it. I smile. We move. We're falling. Blue drifts before me. He's heavy and bulky. Not that it matters in a fall. When all the hunting began, it would be one quick experience when I would fall. All objects would mesh together in a blurred image. Air would bite, green needles would sing, and the weakest appendages of trees would be severed by my curled form. My armor would clap my shoulders in the landing. It would make me wince and blink my eyes. The pain doesn't happen anymore. There are too many calluses. Now I fall and time petrifies nicely. The trees are quiet. I can nearly see their faces within them smiling at me. I was never surprised to see them. They are living things after all. The faces come more often now than before, like I'm always watched by some hidden tree-masked spook of the island. The clouds still. Sunlight stops also. All objects obey my descent. I land. Nothing stirs. The ground splits deep beneath my feet. Blue lands behind me, spinning his body wildly in a hulking flourish. It's ridiculous, these flamboyant stunts. He takes joy in the strangest things. The quakes from his fall make the trees thrash subtly, and the ground echoes a hidden thunder for them to hear, ponder, and tremble. We run. Never stop, or at least rarely stop when moving in the forest. Whenever we fall, we normally run, even if the forest yawns empty of marauders or ills. I tilt between the trees slightly as we dash. We stop and crouch down on the snowy carpet to hide. Consistent movement isn't always synonymous with progress. We dart again, or I dart. Blue is less nimble. If he falters and crushes a tree or brush of twigs, I'll cut his face so it'll bleed into his eye. We can't get anything away, not a single thing. We run faster. The sea throttles back at us as we run. The snow whirls as we move, a convenient and masking flurry. The landing sounds are intensifying. We're getting close to the newest batch, the fresh round of marauders. We fall into the snow knees first and crawl with our noses. No point in blowing the game. We slither past rocks and trees twisted with heavy green moss and spiked frost. I see forms silhouetted close to the hill overlooking the shore. The snow is covering us slightly as we crawl. It feels whimsical or polluted, like it's always better than us. My breath pushes a path through the flakes. Blue makes a low grumble behind me as we crawl. His form isn't suited for such a low stocking. I will cut him if he complains further, though. Don't think I won't. I would always cut him above his eye when he was young and disobedient. The spot would always heal quickly according to his body's systems. More importantly, blood would rush into his eye until it's sealed. The wound was always more for annoyance than a physical pain. I haven't had to do that for quite some time. I scarcely remember how to do it, in fact. I'd have to think hard before doing it. We stopped crawling. I have found a place to observe them. A thick tree has been toppled from one of the cold storms hewed right at its base in spectacular fashion. It still holds most of its big limbs on top, and below are hundreds of small cracked strands, which give us good cover in this crushed mass. I look out onto the forest. The black stumps are smiling. Each tree's beams crawl up to the sky like old and mossy prayers. Their needles are a sick bright green and are covered in patches of fresh snow. The ground below them billows unevenly with mossy green growth and drifts of snow. I can hear the sea far more clearly now. I picture their ships in my mind. They're covered in metal and wood, probably some lightweight metal suited to the stormy seas surrounding this island. No doubt a metal undiscovered in the Diamond Town. They don't spend any time looking for new things. They're too wrapped up in the old materials and beliefs, or that's what I'm guessing. I haven't been there for years. Most of the invaders come here with big but still maneuverable ships. They know the combat will be on the island mainly. Seldom have I had to kill a man on the deck of a ship. I hate the sea. It surrounds everything so emphatically. The mountains on the north side of the island have a similar attitude. They're a consistent gray, a bleakness always lingering on the horizon. I imagine the Diamond Town should be happy with their presence, even though they house the ills. The island's infested with ills. I don't mind slaughtering them and feeding them to the ground. The sea next to the white sand sits black, hollow, and deep. It's so close from our hiding spot. The sea isn't lifeless. No, not from what I've seen, at least. I still hate it. The dull roar of the wind, of the waves, the spraying salt, the ridiculous black piling over and over again. It makes me sick. Still, in the sea there are things. In fact, in the sea there are monstrous things. Monsters are there, many of them drifting deep in the dark. Occasionally, they wash up on the shore from time to time. They die of old age down there with nothing hunting them. A peaceful, undisturbed death, then a rigorous float back up to land. They're white as the snow, these tentacle things. They have what seems like 100 arms. Some arms are longer than others. If you were to stand them up from tentacle to tip, they would be as high as the Diamond Town walls. A few of the arms have wide round ends with holes curling up into rings. I have seen these holes effortlessly rip the skin off a man, much to their disappointment and dismay. The skin, it came off like crumpled paper.